All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Mike Talks Sports. I'm your host, Michael Walters, and today we are going to be talking about the New York Knicks, the Nets, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about the NFL free agency. So, right now, let's get it started. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the New York the New York n- well, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the New York Knicks. Okay, so this week they did play two games. They played against the Sacramento Kings and they recently had played against the Blazers. Okay, I observed two things in that game. In the game against the Sacramento Kings, the Knicks, they actually had a historic moment. They shot 53% from the field and shot 55% from three in that game. Yes, people can debate. Yes, it was because they blew them out by 29 points. Yeah, that is the reason. But the thing is, in that game, I saw a lot of players were hitting the three balls with confidence. Like, for example, Josh Hart, they kept on leaving Hart open for a bunch of three pointers, and he ended up gaining the confidence shooting 4 for 6, 67% from the field. Like, we need to see more of Hart shooting threes because it's like what some people are saying. When Hart shoots the three pointers, the Knicks are an even deadlier team because they always leave Hart open because Hart, in a way, is like their weakest 3-point shooter by percentage wise. But it's like on the games where he is playing very well, like when he's shooting the ball well, the Knicks would actually win those games. So we want to see a little bit more of that. But and also during that game, I know the Knicks just signed this man to a 10-day contract, and he is PJ Tucker. I kind of see why they made that signing. They made the PJ Tucker signing because they want a vet presence in the locker room. Obviously, when you lose your captain in Jalen Brunson, obviously the Knicks, they don't have anyone to lead this team. So it's like they brought in PJ Tucker to basically, make the team a little tougher mentally and also to give them more confidence. It's so because it's like I've noticed since him being a part of the team, a lot of the players are playing a little bit more aggressive, and we love to see that. Like, because you got someone who had won a championship with the Bucks on that team, just giving everyone confidence, and I like to see that. Well, chances of him playing is probably very slim, but we'll see what happens. And also, the recent game the Knicks played was on Wednesday against the Trailblazers. That game was insane. I'm not gonna lie. It was that game. It's like I think they say the highest score, like the highest lead, was really 8 points. Like no one couldn't really get a big lead in that game because every time the Blazers scored, the Knicks scored, or vice versa, or every time someone had a 5 point lead, 6 point lead, it went back down to being a tie. And it's like, I think they say that game had like 36 lead changes, and that is insane. Like, that game was a little too crazy. And I remember it went all the way to overtime because obviously the Knicks had a botched play. They let McBride shoot a deep three that turned out to be an air ball. People were like, why didn't he pass the ball to Towns or Ananobi? But instead, he just threw the impossible shot, and it wasn't, he missed. And also, another thing is that in that game, we did see Mikal Bridges go off. Yes, he did score 33 points in that game. And of course, I was watching the game on TV and I found out that he scored the game-winning shot. He took the game-winning shot in overtime, three-pointer, and it gave made the Knicks win 114-113. And I'm like, man, to win like that, it is very magical. Like, and I think they say it was his first game winner in his entire career That's good to see from Bridges because we need this Bridges against the tough teams. Yes, we played against the Trailblazers, but we need this version of Bridges against the Celtics, against the Cavaliers, like against those teams. We need that aggressive version of him. And if we get that version of Bridges, the Knicks are going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. Like, I'm not going to lie. I know people are saying if the playoffs were to start today, the Knicks will play the Pistons. Yes, the Pistons are a team you cannot sleep on, especially since their coach is JB Bickerstaff, who used to coach the Cavs. Yeah, he's out for vengeance. So the Knicks need to watch out because that Piston team, they can upset them. So it's like we do not want the Knicks to lose to the Pistons in the first round. So we need all the players to lock in. If y'all lock in, y'all gonna be all right. The only issue you gotta deal with is possibly the Boston Celtics in the second round. That's the only issue y'all have to deal with. And also another point before I move on, before the Blazer game, Bridges went to the media and was complaining about the amount of minutes that Thibodeau plays his players. And when he came out with this, it's like it's giving me flashbacks back to when Jimmy Butler made the same complaint about Thibodeau back when he was playing with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, that led to Thibodeau being fired and Butler being traded. But the thing is, I feel like Bridges, the reason why Bridges made this statement is because obviously he may be the most durable player in NBA history, but he realizes that he realized that the yeah, sorry, I have allergies, so please mind. Um yeah, he realized that obviously all those minutes are taking a toll on his body. Yes, he is durable, but there are even times where I see him on the floor and he does look a little, a little like exhausted. So it's like obviously the a lot of minutes he's playing every game, it's taking a toll on him and he just wants to get some rest cuz practically every game he's playing over 40 minutes. That's too much minutes, but the thing is Thibodeau has a reason why he plays his players 40 plus minutes a night. He claims it's because when you're playing most of the time you're playing against good teams, good players, you need your best defenders to guard those players. So I feel like that's why Thibodeau wants to play them all those minutes, but Thibodeau doesn't understand that playing all these minutes, you are you are making your players tired. You're you're using all of their maxing out all of their abilities, and then when they go into the playoffs, they're just exhausted. They're tired. That's what happened to last year's team. That's why last year's team couldn't advance to the conference finals because everybody got tired. Every single person got tired. Then they stressed out their bodies and they all end up falling down with injuries. Like, I don't want that to happen again. But with the way Thibodeau is acting, it probably may happen again. And I don't know. I just hope that if the Knicks do lose in the first or second round, the Knicks just decide to move on from Thibodeau. Because I feel like the only way they'll actually make it to the championship is if Thibodeau is not their coach. And I stand by that. So right now, we finna take a little short break after these messages.
Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio. This is WIUR Radio.
Okay, so right now I'm going to be talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, the Brooklyn Nets, one thing I would say about them is, oh my God, the team, they still need a lot more work to do. They just played a very close game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, they even had a lead against them. And like always, the Brooklyn Nets always blow big leads against good teams. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, y'all had the chance to beat the Brooklyn Nets. Like, this was the last game of the season series. You could have avoided the sweep, but instead you let the Cavaliers beat you the fourth time this season. And I'm like, come on, like Brooklyn, y'all, looking at your scores against the Cavaliers, you actually played a little bit harder than the New York Knicks. And I give you your props for that. Even though you're not going to be as good as New York, you at least put up a fight when you play against the Cavaliers. But the thing is, you had the chance to win once again. But what had happened was you blew a lead and you let Cam Thomas hold on to the ball in the clutch. That's when I knew, damn, they were going to lose because I was watching the game. They were like down by like I think it was like 2 points and over in like regulation, and it's like Thomas, he just dribbles the ball into the paint and he misses badly. And I'm like, what is this dude taking? And I'm like, when is Brooklyn going to realize that Cam Thomas is not it? Like, if he does not change his ways, the team is going to be worse for years to come. They're going to be bad because having a dude who all he cares about is himself and his stats, you don't need that person on your team. You need someone who is going to be a leader, not a ball hog. Cam Thomas, in a way, is giving like Stephon Marbury vibes, even though no disrespect to Stephon Marbury. He had a wonderful career, but it did end in disgrace. So the thing is, if Thomas does not change his ways, he will probably end up like a Stephon Marbury. He's kicked out of the NBA because he doesn't want to be a team player. And maybe he goes probably to overseas and reinvents himself. I don't know. But the only way Thomas can potentially prevent such future from happening is if he becomes a team player. You need to trust your teammates. You don't have the best teammates, I understand, but you do got some decent ones. Like you got Claxton, you could throw him lobs. You got Cameron Johnson, you got Keon Johnson, you got a lot of teammates around who you can throw the ball to in the clutch moments. You don't have to be the one to score. And I'm like, what is wrong with the coaching staff? Like, why are you giving this man so much control of the ball? I understand you kind of are in a way tanking this season, but you kind of still have a chance to make it to the play. And like, so I wouldn't say it's a complete tank, but the thing is, you should at least try to win a couple games. But looking at the way how they're operating, I feel like they are tanking on purpose. They're literally having Thomas be your scorer in the clutch. I already know the Nets are tanking because there's no way in hell he's capable of making those shots. Yes, he is capable, but he be making the shots a little too late. So I feel like the Brooklyn Nets, they're just going to tank. They're probably going to try to get Cooper Flag, but I don't know who's getting Cooper Flag. There's even rumors saying Cooper Flag may even go back to Duke. So it's like, I don't know. Like, if I feel like the Brooklyn Nets will make it to the play-in tournament whenever I think it all depends on whether or not Cooper Flag decides to stay or go. Because I feel like a lot of teams are changing their strategies for this season. They're tanking strategies because there's some like, it's very uncertain if Cooper Flag is going to go into the draft because they're saying there's a lot of rumors about him returning for another season at Duke. So it's like, because of the uncertainty of Cooper Flag's draft position, a lot of teams are kind of backing off from the tank. And I kind of see that. So it's like, well, all right. So it's like, my guess is that the Nets will probably continue to tank. There are still some good players they could get in next year's draft who are not named Cooper Flag, who that could potentially, make the team a little better. So, yeah, that's really what I have for the Brooklyn Nets. So right now, I'm going to be talking about the NFL free agency. Okay, just recently, the Jets just made a signing. They signed a quarterback by the name of Justin Fields to a 2-year contract worth $40 million. And I'm like, okay, I see what the Jets are doing. You waived Aaron Rodgers and you finally got a young quarterback that can potentially lead you to a better future. I like this move for the Jets. You get the starting quarterback that you've wanted for, well, I don't know if they had targeted him for a while, but you get the starting quarterback that you needed. Like, you don't need an old 40-some-year-old Rodgers to carry your team. You need a much younger quarterback who fits your team's timeline. Yes, obviously the Jets are in rebuilding mode. The chances of them making the Super Bowl probably is kind of slim still. They kind of still need a little bit more moves on defense and offense, but them getting Justin Fields is the first piece to the puzzle for a complete like rebuild. It's the first piece, and I hope they make more moves to improve this team because the Jets are far away from being a championship level team. And then also, there is a rumor going around saying the Giants are probably looking to get Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I have some mixed feelings about this. Why why do the Giants want to get the Jets sloppy seconds? Well, I hate to I hate to say that term, but you're getting a player that your rival literally just released. Like what are the Giants thinking? I don't know. Like, somebody's saying there are even some players with the Giants who are saying they want Aaron Rodgers as quarterback. And I'm like, the dude just had two of his worst seasons of his career playing for the Jets, and you just want him like that? Come on, just let Aaron Rodgers get out of New York. Having him on the Giants is probably not going to work out either because, yes, you're going to have a more veteran presence on the team, but he failed with the Jets. What makes you think he's actually going to do well with the Giants? I do not see that going well. And plus, there's even rumors saying he may even sign with the Steelers. So the chance of the Giants getting Rodgers is kind of slim because he's not going to stay another year in New York. Like, the Jets and the Giants are practically the same teams. They both have issues internally. Like, they have issues within their organization, and they also have issues with they have issues with everything, really. That's all I have to say. Like, the team, need like a new coaching staff. They need new players, both offense and defense. There's a lot of issues in that organization. So it's like I feel like the Giants, they need a different quarterback instead of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they can go the route of trading for more established quarterbacks. Obviously, they cannot get Matthew Stafford because he re signed with the Rams. Well, that made a lot of Giants fans upset. But maybe if you cannot get a good player from free agency, I suggest you go explore someone in the draft. Like I said in the past couple of episodes, maybe the Giants need to get they probably need to draft Shaders. I think it's Shadder Sanders. I've been butchering his name for a long time. Yeah, I think they need to pick up Deion Sanders' son, Shadder Sanders. I feel like if they draft him, it would be a good thing for the Giants because you have another young quarterback that you can develop into a potential superstar. But looking back on what happened with them and Daniel Jones, I feel like the best thing you should do is draft him and trade him for a more established quarterback. That's what I think the Giants should do. But we'll see what happens with the Giants because we don't know what they're going to do. So now we have reached the conclusion of today's episode. Yes, it was a little short, but as you can see, it just happens. Like, we just hope that a lot of the teams I just spoke about make right decisions in the future, and that we us as fans could be happy with whatever moves they make. So this is Michael Walters reporting from WIUR. This is Mike Talks NY Sports. Have a good day.